Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on some snowflakes using our new SoftFlex Design Challenge Kit ugly sweater. So let's turn down and I'll show you what I plan on doing. So I have all this pile of beads right here and a snowflake frame. This is the medium size, and I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do this first, but what I am going to do is, if you'll recall, I got these bead caps from Beadbox Bargains, and I said I'll show you how they work. See how it goes over the top of this square one. Now these are actually a little bit too wide. I've been squishing this one down a little bit to get it closer to what I want. So I'm just going to take my flat nose pliers and squish it just a little bit more so it fits better. See how that fits right there now? And these other two, which are going to go on these other two green beads, they need squished down too. So we're going to just take them and put our flat nose pliers on either side and push, well, go this way first because they don't want to squish it first. So put them in here and just squish them down some. Come on, baby, squish. It doesn't want to. It doesn't feel like it. But we need to squish our sides in some. There we go. I felt it give a little bit right there. But we need to squish these down so they're more like this size. And this metal's a little strong, so it doesn't really want to squish a lot. And I have to get it in here well enough that I can hold it too while I squish. Okay. So, as you can see, it's still too big. This one's way too big still. But we need to bring it down some by just squishing these up a little bit more. See, we've got the pretty good gap still over on this side. Now once it's really on the bead and in a project, it's not going to show so much, but I still like it a little closer. This one's a little further away still, but I think it's probably not too much different than this one here. That one's closer. This one still needs to push down some. And this one needs to push down a lot. So we'll just keep working these until we get them pushed down to where we want them to be. Okay, this one is fine now. So we have two that are in good shape. Now I need to get this one squished down some. So, yeah, that'll work. So there we go. We have these bead caps for these three big beads all ready to go. And we're going to combine them with these little striped ones. Then we have to come up with a pattern with these other beads. So how we're going to start this is we're going to take these little, oops, that one's one of the more gold ones. No, it's not. It's got some red. I put the gold ones aside because I think we're just going to have the gold ones on one and these red ones on the other. But these little guys are, since they're pinches, they are skinny enough that even though they won't go straight down all the way on, as you can see, they snug up pretty good to each other. Now I'm going to knock these back off, but I just wanted to show you how well these fit together with the little pinch beads here at the bottom. I say I'm going to knock them back off because they will automatically come off, just like that one just did, if I don't hold them, because they are got nothing holding them in place yet. So they each will have one of these little red ones up there, so that the middle's going to look like so. So we're going to just knock, like I said, most of these back off. I'll probably leave one of them on because I'm going to, we'll start one row. And then when I get this one row done, these 2 rows will be identical to it, and then the other ones will be different. But I have decided that we're going to put these like this for the 3 bars. And come on, go up there with that one because you're going to be able to stay there. And then we're going to decide what else we're going to do. I did get add some small daisy spacers. I didn't want the big ones when I'm putting this tiny beads on, but we'll come up with a pattern here. Could put one of the big ones here, I guess, and then the big one here. And come on, baby, go on. And this I believe is an acrylic bead, but it's a cool acrylic bead. So then I'm going to, how many of these daisy spacers do we have? We need to make sure we have enough for each of our bead strands here. Now we need one more green, and then I'm going to wrap it because you have to give yourself enough room to make your loop, and that's about that much. You need about the end of your finger. We might be able to put one more bead other than that on, but I think we're going to put on some of these bicones. So I'm going to cut the thread off the line right here, and we'll put one of the bicones on here. And we might, I say, have just enough to put one of these tiny rondelles here as well. Now that is actually pushing it. I think that's probably as much as we want to put on. So now I'm going to get my tiny round nose, and we're going to make a loop here. Oh, come on, turn. You were turning so good at first there, but then you stopped. Let's see if I have memory wire pliers, but they're not always the best. See how it's bent? But that works good though. So we'll just, now I want to take my loop and bring it back this way so it's standing up. Then because that opened it up a little bit, we get our pliers back in and squish it back together. So that one is about perfect. So now I'm going to do the other 2 rows that are just like that here and over here. And I'm going to fast forward these because you don't need to. Okay, now we have the 3 arms done. You'll have noticed I had to work this one last loop quite a bit. When you're working with memory wire pliers, you want to get down as far on the base as possible, because if not, see how that's bent right there? They will bend, and see, this one's really bent. And sooner or later they'll break because they will bend quite a bit. So now that we've got these 3 done, we need to decide how we want to do the other 3. And I've got these millefiori. In fact, I've got 6 of them. But since we're going to we only need 3 new arms, we can put these other 3 aside. And we, of course, want to start again with our these little guys here. So we'll put that one on and a little spacer. Now we have to decide what we want to put on next. And I'm thinking one of our green bicones. So, and then see now how much extra space this one had, whereas this one was pretty tight. And it's funny because it's got the same amount of beads on it. It's very weird how that works. Anyway, so we've got going to start with the green. And then we have to decide what we want to do next. We do have some more of these red here, so we've got enough to do 3 more of these. And we do have these other 3 green styles. But we also are going to put this millefiori on here, so I'm going to take this little spacer off. I think we have enough of these. Let's see. I need one more. Do I have one more? Oh, there it is. So we'll put one of these on either side of the millefiori. Like so. Now we have to decide what more we want to put here. I'm thinking another one of our green bicones. So it goes over it like that. We do have enough of, now we could put one of these reds back on again. But we've got some room, so we want to put something else on here as well. And so we have to make up our mind. Do we want to cut another one of these off? So we have one of these style of beads here. That might be the way to go. Or we have these little guys still here. But I don't think so. I think we'll cut, let's see how much space we have here. I think we want the little ones. So let's cut the little ones loose here. And we want a couple of those. So we'll put one of these guys on here. And I think that's probably good enough, and we can do our turn. Though maybe it might not be far enough away. Well, let's see what it would be if we used one of the bigger ones here. Now, I think that'll work, but that's as good as we want, far as we want to go. So let's get our memory wire plier out. And we want to start our bend around. Now I want to straighten this loop because now it's a side loop, as you can see, but we want it to be a round one. So go in here again and finish this loop up. And it moved out again. So there is what this strand is going to look like. So now that we've got this strand designed, now it's time to do the other 2 sides. And I am going to fast forward the other 2 sides again. So anyway, this is our extra stuff from that we didn't use. I am going to use these green pieces, and I'm going to have to pull out my little extra pieces that I put in here, my daisy spacers. We want to get some gold ones because we're going to do gold and green on our other snowflake. And I don't even think we're going to put any silver or red into it. So this is all extra stuff up here. And I will get some gold pieces out. But in the meantime, to finish this one off, I want to put on this little briolette as a dangle. You know, I don't. I'm not going to use this briolette. We'll put it up here. What I'm going to use is a snowflake. I have some rather pretty little snowflakes that I got here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That can go back in the bag. But this one is a cute little guy, and I think we'll hang him down here. So I just need to get a jump ring, and we'll put him on with a medium jump ring here. So we'll just open this guy up. And put our little snowflake onto our big snowflake. Now the last thing I'm going to do for this is make it a hook, but we're not going to make it right now. We'll do that at the same time as we make the second one's hook. So there is our first one all done, and I'm going to get and put these pieces away, and so we don't get them lost or anything like that. And I'm going to see if I have any other green pieces in here in the kit other than the... I do, but do I want to use... I only have 2 of those rondelles. I have 4 of the rice, but I don't know that I want to use the rice beads. But maybe I do, because we don't have a lot of other stuff. So let's get the rice beads out. I like these rice beads. We have 4 of them, but we're only going to use 3 because we only have 4. So since we're only using, since it's 6-sided, we don't want to excuse me. We can't use 4 because then we'd have an uneven amount, and we don't want to do that. So now if I wanted to go with green and red again, I could use these other Millefiori, but I think I'm going to go straight green on this new one here. So those go in the other package. No, I'm probably going to just put these in their own baggie when I get to that point. But I'm going to bring up these green ones here and the gold pieces. Oops, there's some silver pieces I should have put away. And I will probably need to get some I will get these silver pieces put away again. but I'm going to use, go back over there. We're going to use these. I'm only going to use one of these because it's going to be the dangle. One of these little balls is going to be the dangle. And then we're going to use a lot of these little guys. And like I said, I need to get some looks like we're all coming off our strings, so this one looks like it's entirely off the string, these little greens. So we're going to use mainly the greens, like I said, and some gold. So I need to get some, so we're going to use the gold pinch beads down in the bottom here. And so we need to get, and we have these big ones here. And I sort of need, I'm not sure what I'm going to need. I know I'm going to use these green ones for 3 of them. And we're going to use the pinches, of course. And I need some gold, I need some little gold spacers. I know I have some gold daisy spacers. I just have to find where I have them stuffed at. So we'll get those out. Come on, little gold daisy spacers, come out of here. There we go. And we'll put some of those in. And I have to try and decide what other beads I want to use for the green. I do have some other green beads. Actually, I just found what we're going to use. I have these big green teardrops. Those will work for the other 3. And so we have these 3 greens for 1, these 3 for the second. Actually, where's my tray? Here it is. Let's put these in that baggie. So I'm going to start again with the gold pinch beads. Then we're going to bring in these beads and our, so it's going to be these beads here we're going to use for this one. So like I say, we're going to use this as the dangle. We're going to just spread these others throughout our set, but we're going to start with these gold pinch beads because they'll fall down on there really nicely. And then we have to decide which ones of these we want to use throughout. Like I said, these are going to be 3 bars, and these are going to be the other 3 bars. So I think we'll start with one of these little guys and another gold. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's see how this compares with the others' arms. Oops, we just dumped it all off. Darn it. Well, we can get it started. It wasn't that hard. that is one thing you have to be careful of when you're making the snowflakes. Do not turn them downwards because they are very particular. Now see, I could put a little more on this particular row because it's about right here, and see how I've got a little bit more space there. So maybe we will put it like this instead, with a bicone right here. Now we've gotten too much because there's not enough to turn there. See how we're up above it now? So the question is, what do we want to do? Do I want to take this amount off and just leave it like that? And that works. So let's do that. Where's my, there we go. So now we want to get in here with our pliers, and we want to go all the way to the back. Like I said, your memory wire pliers will bend on you if you don't have it back to the very back of your plier. So now see, I could have put a little bit more space onto here, and that's why I'm turning it a little bit extra so that it sort of curves into itself like so. And you could cut that off if you wanted to. I just prefer to split it, to bring it around like that. So now we're going to make the other two rows that match this one. So we'll skip a run, come over to here, and we're going to do exactly the same thing on this side as we did over here. Oop. Now I could have used slightly bigger daisy spacers around this one, but it's too late now because I've already got that one turned. So there's row 2. Do exactly the same thing with this one. Go back on the back of your pliers. Go and turn. So there's that one. Now we want to go over to our third one and do it. Okay, there we have these 3 legs down. Now we need to decide how we're going to work this other one. Now these are going to have the rice beads, but we're going to start, of course, with our pinch beads still. Now with this one, I'm going to use these little green ones. And I think I'm going to double them up. Actually, I forgot I had these bead caps. These would have worked very nicely with those, but I didn't use them, so we'll use them here with the rice. Now see, I have more space here, so we have to decide what we want to do here. And I'm sort of thinking that we'll take this first little guy off, put one of these longer little beads here on. Okay, that's a little bit longer, I think, than I really would like it, but I mean, it's not as long as I would like it, but I really don't know what else we'd put in there if we put something there, because anything much bigger is going to be too big. See, if I put one of the bicones on, it would be too large. So the only other one we could put on would be another one of these little guys. And even that's getting a little bit tight. You know, we'll try it. We'll see how it works. Uh-oh, I just broke something. I broke that very top crystal. And that's what I was afraid of, because it is a little too tight. So we broke the crystal off. We have to back this out so we could get that broken crystal off there. Well, it doesn't want to back off of this curve here, which is what I was afraid of. See if we can get it to come out. If I can't, then I'm going to maybe just finish breaking it, because it is broken anyway, so it's not like it's going to harm anything to break it the rest of the way. So since it is broken and it won't come off, well, I can get it to come off probably. There we go. It's off. I'm going to leave that spacer there though, and we're going to get back in here and turn this back on again. Now that was a lesson learned. You can't always got to make sure you have your right length in here. Uh-oh, I broke a lot of beads in there, because I broke my pinch bead down here too, so now it definitely isn't working, and we're going to have to see if we can get it undone again, and I'm going to have to take off all the beads. Now, because I have to take off all the beads, I'm going to use my flat nose pliers and straighten this up as much as I can to get them off, so that we can put a new bead on the bottom there. Oops. And the problem with this is that the small beads don't always want to go around those curves that you already have in here. So there we go, we got it. Well, maybe we didn't, because that one doesn't want to come now. Now we need to put a new pinch bead down on here. And now we know that we cannot put another green one on there. Come on, pinch bead. Go down. There we go. Except for that one just cracked as it was going down over that. Boy, we're just going to crack the beads right and left, aren't we? Are you going to make it pinch bead, or do you need to be straightened a little bit more right there at that curve right here? There we go. Now we'll put our beads back on like we had them. And we'll remember that we can't put that last little one up we were thinking we may be able to fit on. It breaks, so we don't want to do that. Now you do need to recall that this memory wire can break too. This is the same stuff they make memory wire that they make the these out of. And you want to be careful. So now we'll turn that again. And we'll straighten this baby up. So that's what this row is going to look like now. So now we'll get in and we'll do there's that broken bead. Do the other two of branches just like this one. So we start with our pinch bead. I'm taking this string out of my way, and then it's one of the little greens. So there we go. There is our second one, all beaded up here. We'll have to get those put away. But now what we need to do is get another little jump ring and put this little fuzzy guy on here. And we can see which ones of our links are the best. They all look pretty good, so it doesn't matter which one we put on. We'll just put it on one of them. And then we're going to have to make the hooks for the hangers. Now this time we need a little gold one. That's one of those that's half of the broken bead. Open this baby up. And I could, I don't have any gold snowflakes, or I would think about putting a snowflake on this one too. But we have this pretty little fuzzy ball, so it works fine. We also could make a dangle out of the regular beads if we chose to, but I don't choose to. So there we go. There is our snowflake with our little fuzzy ball. Now what we need to do is to get some wire out, and we'll make our hooks for these. So I've got some heavy wire out here. I think this is 16 gauge from the feel of it. And we're just going to make a hook for our silver one. So we're just going to start this by taking and making a loop on one side. I can use my other ones. We'll use these particular ones. So we're going to make a small loop on one side, and we're going to face it this direction. So just make a loop just like so. Now this is more or less just a decorative loop. It's not anything special. So then we're going to get our wire mandrel, and we're going to put it on one of these hoops, and we're just going to wrap it around like so. So now we have this. Now then we're going to, right here, we're going to take it and give it a little bend this direction, and we're going to cut this right here. So when we cut this, we don't need any more this wire anymore, so we'll just put it away. And now all we need to do is we're going to take this bigger side here, and we're going to turn a loop going the opposite direction. So like so. There we go. There is our loop. And if you need it to, if you want it a little smaller than that, you can just, this is where it's at right here, just take it and put it right here and squish it just a little bit more so that it comes around slightly bigger. So there we go. There is our hook. So we just then have to open this loop back up and put it onto our snowflake. And then close it back up, just like you would any jump ring or anything like that. So there is our hook onto our silver one. And I've already made one for the gold one. So there we go. There are our two snowflakes made with our SoftFlex Design Company's Design Challenge Kit ugly sweater. So there's a little piece of broken bead. So here we go. Both of them all finished. There we have it. There are our two ugly sweater snowflakes. Here's our all green and gold one with our little fuzzy ball, with our little silky ball down here at the bottom. Now, all of the beads other than the daisy spacers and these teardrops are from Ugly Sweater. So, isn't that a cool looking one? Now, obviously, these are all glass because I broke two of them when we made that one. Now, here's our silver one that's red and green and with the silver spacers and the little silver snowflake. Now, everything in this one was from the kit except the snowflake, these bead caps, and the little daisy spacers. So there is snowflake number 1 and snowflake number 2. And like I say, nearly everything in these was from our ugly sweater design challenge kit from SoftFlex company. Aren't those pretty? So this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I hope you enjoyed making these really pretty snowflakes with me. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.